सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो, सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.
The monsoon session of the Parliament continues to be marred by disruptions and suspensions. Amid an uproar in the Rajya Sabha by opposition parties, 3 more members of the Parliament, Aam Aadmi Party's Sandeep Kumar Pathak and Sushil Kumar Gupta, and independent legislator Ajit Kumar Bhuyan, were suspended from the House on Thursday. The number of MPs suspended from both houses of Parliament in the 8 years since 2014, when the Bharatiya Janata Party-led National Democratic Alliance rose to power, has gone up almost 3 times compared to the previous 8 years, data accessed by ThePrint from the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha Secretariat shows. While at least 51 MPs were suspended from the 2 houses between the monsoon session in 2006 and February 2014, the Lok Sabha elections were held in April 2014. At least 142 MPs have been suspended for misconduct and unruly behaviour between the monsoon session in August 2015 and now. On Monday, 4 opposition MPs were suspended from the Lok Sabha, and this was followed by 20 MPs being suspended from the Rajya Sabha Tuesday and Wednesday for disrupting proceedings this week. Parliamentary experts as well as opposition MPs agree that there has been a huge spike in suspension cases in the past few years, unlike earlier when such instances were few and far between. PDT Achari, former Secretary General of the Lok Sabha, told ThePrint that of late cases of MPs getting suspended have more than doubled, and he said it indicates that there is greater hostility between the Treasury and opposition benches, where both treat each other as enemy instead of political adversary. He also termed it as a sign of serious crisis. Parliament cannot function like this, he told ThePrint. He also said that earlier there used to be a healthy interaction among members of both sides. There was a lot of bonhomie, he said. It was a sign of mature democracy, according to him. That tradition, he says, of interaction is breaking down now. Speaking to ThePrint, Rajya Sabha MP and former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram said that the Narendra Modi government is strangling democracy by not allowing any discussion or debate in the Parliament. And I quote, he said, if debate is not allowed and if protest is not allowed, why have democracy, elections and a Parliament? The government is strangling democracy, it is dying a slow death, and let all citizens be aware of the danger, he further added. However, the ruling BJP disagrees with this view. Speaking to ThePrint, Anil Baluni, Rajya Sabha MP and national media in charge of the BJP, alleged that it is the opposition which deliberately does not allow the House to function, despite the government being ready to have a discussion on all matters. He said not only is the House getting disrupted regularly, but even those members who try to raise issues related to the public are regularly disrupted by some other MPs. He said while carrying placards inside the House is not allowed, the opposition leaders don't pay any heed. While there were 5 instances between 2006 and February 2014 when some 51 MPs were suspended, the number of such suspension has gone up in the House by almost 3 times since then. In the Rajya Sabha, the suspension cases have increased, especially during the second term of the Modi government from 2019 onwards. According to the Parliament's rules of procedure and conduct of business, the House, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has the right to punish its members for misconduct in the House or outside. In cases of misconduct or contempt committed by the members, the House can impose punishment in the form of reprimand, withdrawal from the House, suspension from the service of the House, or imprisonment and expulsion from the House. In the Rajya Sabha, Rule 256 governs the suspension of members. A motion is moved by the chair and adopted by the House to suspend the member from the service of the House for a period not exceeding the remainder of the session. The House may, however, terminate the suspension by another motion. The Rajya Sabha also has a provision under Rule 255 where the chairman may direct any member whose conduct is, in his opinion, grossly disorderly to withdraw immediately from the House for the remainder of the day's meeting. Data gathered by ThePrint from the Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha secretariats and their respective websites for the 8 years preceding the NDA government, 2006 to 2014, and the 8 years of the BJP-led NDA government from 2014 till now, shows that suspending MPs has become more of a norm than an exception. In the Rajya Sabha, for instance, during the period 2006 till 2014, there was just one episode in March 2010 when the then Minister of State for Parliamentary Affairs, Prithviraj Chavan, moved a motion on 9th March for the suspension of 7 MPs for the remaining part of the session. The MPs had snatched the Women's Reservation Bill from a minister and thrown copies of the bill inside the House. However, another motion was moved on 15th March to terminate the suspension of all but one member, Dr. Ijaz Ali. The Rajya Sabha did not see any suspension during the Modi government's first term in power, which is between 2014 to 2019, when the ruling party had fewer seats in the upper house. However, there has been a spate of suspension since 2020, reflecting the growing strain between the Treasury and opposition benches. In September 2020, 8 opposition MPs were suspended during the passage of 2 of the controversial farm bills. The 8 suspended MPs sat on a night-long dharna inside Parliament's premises in protest against the 2 bills, but called off their demonstration the next day to join the opposition in boycotting the rest of the monsoon session. But the suspension of the opposition MPs from the Rajya Sabha this week has set a new record. By far, this is the highest number of MPs ever suspended from the upper house in a matter of days. Data also shows that since May 2014, when the Modi government took charge for the first time, there has been a string of suspensions of Lok Sabha MPs almost every year when the House was in session. According to records maintained by Lok Sabha Secretariat, while there were 4 instances between 2006 and 2014, in April 2012, August 2013, September 2013 and February 2014, which resulted in a total of 44 MPs being suspended from the Lok Sabha for unruly behaviour. As many as 91 MPs have been suspended since the BJP-led NDA came to power at the centre in 2014. In July 2017, for instance, 6 Lok Sabha MPs were suspended for 5 days. Again, in 2019, the Lok Sabha witnessed a large number of suspensions. Some 45 MPs belonging to the AIADMK, Telugu Desam Party and the YSR Congress Party were suspended over 2 days for disrupting proceedings, demanding special status for Andhra Pradesh and protesting over a proposed dam on Kaveri River. On January 2, 2019, the Lok Sabha saw the suspension of 24 MPs for 5 days, and a day later, another 21 MPs were suspended for 4 days. The opposition claimed it wants to have a discussion on price rise, on the issues which are related to the public, and it is in fact the government which is not allowing that. This is Neelam Pandey reporting for ThePrint.